Hi beauties, welcome to my channel H.ealthy by Yulia. I'm Yulia and I'm your virtual beauty therapist. Skincare is what I have been doing for the past 10 years, so I do hope you enjoy my videos, my advices and my ideas about your skincare routine. So the topic for today is about clay. It has been used for centuries. You can still see it today in plenty of products with prices from $10 to £100. So what is the difference? Why exactly we can see it? Why the difference in the prices? Is it really that much expensive? And is it really working? I have to say there is a variety of different kinds of clay. So their benefits do vary slightly because they have different structure. They have different compounds into them. So I will talk about the different types of clay in the next part. In this one, I want you to understand why it's great to add clay into your skincare routine. The first benefit is because clay is a material which is able to soak up moist materials. So when you apply it on the skin, it should be able to actually remove and absorb the toxins from your skin. The second reason is because it is able to draw out different kinds of impurities from the skin. So this is especially beneficial if your skin is oily or if you're struggling with acne and blemishes. With that being said, it's also able to absorb the excess oil from the skin, so the shiny look of the skin will be less. The next reason is because some of the different clay types actually have slightly grainy texture. So they are able to exfoliate your skin because there is no dirt and there is no excess oil on the surface of the skin. That means that actually you will have less breakouts and less clogging of the pores, which means that clay might be able to reduce the size of the pores. Now about this one, it's a bit tricky when we talk about products. My professional experience actually have taught me that very often products are not enough and you do need some kind of professional treatment. Clays are very rich on different minerals and they can provide your skin with different nutrition. That's something that really all different skin types can benefit from. Depending on the different type of clay, some could be very beneficial and soothing for irritated and sensitive skin. There are a few different studies that were looking into the benefits from point of view of antibacterial use of clay. You can add into your skincare routine if your skin is dull, ashy looking and tired. But that's not something that you can treat your pigmentation spots with unless it is this particular type of clay that I will talk about a little bit later. Clay is a material which is negatively charged. So the idea is that when it is applied on the skin, it will do an exchange. So sticking to the skin means that it will suck out all the impurities like dirt and toxins and oil which are positively charged, because remember, positives and negatives when we talk about magnets are sticking to one another. So with that being said, that means that it is a function which is called adhesion. That means glue, like magnet. So you have one thing like the clay which is negative and the impurities which are positive, and they stick one to another. So when they are glued one to another, when you wash them off, you wash off the clay with the impurities. The other way why actually clay is working is because it is like a sponge. So here we are talking about absorption. That means that you have some impurity, you apply clay, and the clay just sucks like a sponge the impurity. You wash off the clay, again you wash off the impurities from the skin. And that's simply said, obviously, is how clay should be working for your skin. Clay might vary in the structure, in the minerals which are inside. So you might have silicone, you might have aluminum, you might have iron inside, potassium. So that's why the color might also vary. They just come from different environment, and that's why you can see different texture, different color, different compounds into them. So the first one, and probably one of the two main that you can see in your products, is kaolin. Kaolin is very fluffy, very gentle and light as texture. So that's the clay that will be suitable for someone with sensitive skin. Now this is also called white china clay, although it's not always white in color. It could be pink, it could be white, green, red. Again, they will remove some of the dirt and impurities and oil from the skin surface, so that obviously does not mean that they are not working, but they are more gentle option. Because not all of the minerals are getting absorbed from the water when you mix them and apply them on the skin, it leaves on the surface crystals, which are the exfoliating part of this powder. The next type of clay that I wanted to mention is called French green clay, and this is the type of clay with the highest mineral content inside. It has naturally green color because it contains a lot of plant matter inside. It also contains iron oxide. But the reason why I am mentioning it, because it is very potent. It is an H.ealthy type of clay and it is very absorbent. So if you went somewhere on a spa and you had a body or face treatment that left your skin feeling very nice and silky smooth, it's very likely that you had some kind of treatment with green French clay. Bentonite is the one that is the most potent option. So if you apply something, it felt very drying, it felt slightly itching afterwards, and it was red, this is probably bentonite clay that you have applied on your face. That doesn't mean that you should avoid it. It means that it is very aggressive and it is very potent, so you should be very careful how to apply it. Now, interestingly for me, I have seen quite a few places, studies, advices, groups that were saying that you should use bentonite powder with apple cider vinegar. And initially I was like, no, because applying vinegar on your skin means that because it has very low pH level, you can literally burn yourself, scar yourself, cause pigmentation, and etc. So that's not something that I will suggest. What I have found was that bentonite has very high pH level. It's around 8. And in order to balance it, people were adding water and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. It really makes sense because if you look at your skincare product, if something is alkaline in general in your product, a lot of the different brands will add on citric acid, which means that they're trying to reduce the pH level and balance it. It is called bentonite because of the area which is the biggest producer of this type of clay, which is Fort Benton in Wyoming, the States. But also you can find it as Montmorillonite clay, which is because it was initially found from this area in France. Bentonite clay is really varying in color. It could be white, yellow, red, brown, and even black. The reason why the color vary is again because of the compounds inside. But bentonite clay is a volcanic ash sediments. So that's the one that works really like sponge, and that's why it is so potent. So impurity, bentonite, suck it all and remove it from the skin. Now unfortunately, if you leave the mask for too long, it will absorb the moisture from the skin as well, and that's why it might be able to cause some kind of irritation. The next type of clay is called Rasool or Rasol, but you can also find it slightly spelling different, which is Gasul or Gasol. So it's the same type of clay. It comes from Morocco, from the Atlas Mountains, and it has been used for over 1,400 years. At least that's when we have information about. So it has been used for skin and it has been used for hair as well. It has reddish color and it has high content of silica and magnesium. So this type of clay is much more gentle than bentonite, and it has once again very moussey type of texture when you mix it with water. When applied on the skin, it will be able to remove the impurities from the skin, but without the drying effect. And the last type of clay that I wanted to mention is the one that we can compare with bentonite from point of view of effectiveness, because it is quite potent. So if your skin is oily, it's great. If your skin is sensitive, I believe you should avoid it. It is called Fuller's Earth clay. So this type of clay is slightly different from point of view of lightening the skin, not just brightening. It is exfoliating and it is able to remove the excess oil and impurities from the skin. Therefore, I do believe that it's particularly great if your issue is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So that's the pigmentation, whether it's redness, whether it's brown looking spot, which was caused from your blemishes healing. The first product that I wanted to start with is from the La Roche-Posay. They have anti-blemish clay mask. It contains kaolin inside, so that's the type of clay suitable for more sensitive skin, but also contains 5% of panthenol B, which is very soothing. The second product is by Ole Henriksen. It is the cold plunge mask, and it's around £30, so that's a little bit more pricey, especially for a mask. Now here you do have kaolin, but also you have alpha hydroxy acid in the form of lactic acid. From the ingredients list we can see that it is less than 1% salicylic acid inside. The cold filling from the mask comes from peppermint oil. Now this is essential oil and I am not a big fan of those one into your skincare, but once again that's something that is a personal decision. The third product is by Kiehl's and it's their rare earth pore clay mask or something in this matter. My point is that it's also around £30. They do highlight that it is responsibly sourced by Amazonian white clay. It does have kaolin but also bentonite, so that's something that is a little bit more absorbing, a little bit more potent. It has aloe vera, it has oat kernel and allantoin, which are all soothing and nourishing. Paula's Choice cannot be missed. They also have a clay mask. It has kaolin and bentonite, but also it has two different types of algae inside. It has chamomile, it has salicylic acid inside, and green tea. So it's a mixture of soothing and anti-inflammatory ingredients as well as oil absorption. So I do have to talk about the Aztec Secret Healing Clay Powder Mask, and that's 100% pure bentonite, so that's very potent and you should be quite careful using it. Another budget-friendly option is only £5 for 50ml mask, and it's from the Inky list. They have kaolin mask, which has obviously water kaolin. It has aloe vera, which is calming. It has kelp, it has allantoin inside, and a bunch of other soothing ingredients, so definitely worth the money. Another brand is Room. I'm sorry if I didn't say it right, I'm not really certain. They have 3 different options of pure powder, which is different types of clay, and also it is very budget friendly. You just mix it by yourself right before you apply it on the skin. Pick the type of clay that is suitable for your skin. And then the second thing is, well, you're not supposed to leave your mask for too long. So a lot of people will remove their mask after the mask is completely dry and flaky, which is a mistake. because in this state, especially if it's more potent clay, it will suck out the moisture from your skin, which means dry and more irritated skin. So when you are supposed to remove the clay mask is when you can see the difference in the color, which happens very often when it starts drying out. But when you touch the mask, it should not be completely dry, but still slightly sticky. You can be a little bit cheeky and mix it not just with water. So depending what you mix it with, you might be able to leave it for a little bit longer. So you can mix your clay mask with just a little bit of oil. You can also replace the water with something like milk or buttermilk if you want to. You can mix also your mask with, instead of water, some kind of tea. So very often people will use something like green tea water. You can actually add on the leaves as well, or you can use something like chamomile tea. Something very used is also honey, and this will be able to provide you with soft skin afterwards. Yogurt will feel nice and cold, but also it contains a lot of good bacteria that you can add on to your skin. If you have blemishes on your body, say you have back acne or your shoulders or any part of the body, you can add on a little bit of clay powder in your bath. Obviously afterwards you have to shower. And the last little trick that I can mention is that some types of clay could be mixed with just a little bit of oil, and they could be treating nappy rash if you have a baby. Purging means that it will bring out the impurities, the comedones that are already into the skin to the surface. Purging happens very often from exfoliating ingredients. It's not because clay mask will cause breakouts, it's because clay mask will bring to the surface impurities that are already there. It speeds up the process of forming of pimple. So purging, unfortunately, can be from just a few days to a month, and that's not something that you want to see, but in the same times it means that your skin is just tossing away all the impurities and gunk that was into the pores, so afterwards your skin should feel lovely and soft. I hope you enjoyed the video from today, and I give you enough information to decide what type of clay mask to use. So I'll see you next Tuesday when I will upload my next video. Please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and consider subscribing to my channel.